The next module is the print module. This is where you can print out your own photos or create contact sheets for not necessarily professional photo printing, but actually just to have a reference. A lot of times, if you're a professional photographer on a shoot, you might need to create a contact sheet which has all of the edited photos so that people can kind of go through them, or maybe even before you've edited the photos, you send a contact sheet that is a grid of photos that the client can look at and choose the ones that they like. So for example, if we select one of these folders or collections and then go to print, it's going to create this sort of custom layout. Now, I might have adjusted some of the settings, but over on the left-hand side, you have your different templates. So here you can see that we have custom grids, for example. Now, if we select multiple photos, it will fill out that grid. If we have more than 4, for example, it will end up actually having 2 pages. So you can see, if we have 6 photos, if we want to have a grid with all of these photos on it, we might choose something like this. And this template automatically has the name of the photo down below. So this contact sheet is a good one to use if you are trying to create that sort of contact page. If you have a specific size or quality, you can try to use one of these custom ones down here, like maximum size, which will actually make the photo as big as possible. Or you can go to page setup and choose the actual size of your paper. You can also go to your print settings to adjust the settings on your printer. Now, if you want to, you can adjust the actual size of the image on the page and lots of other things over here on the right-hand side. So for example, if you don't want to rotate to fit, you can choose this option right here so that all the photos just are up, right side up. You have this zoom to fill option, which if you're printing out, I don't know why you would want that. You can have repeat one photo per page. So for example, if we chose this 2x2 and we chose repeat one photo per page, you can quickly create passport photos or something like that. And so this creates a 6-page, you can see the number of pages, a 6-page printout, but 1 photo per page. If I uncheck that, you can see that now this is a 2-page print. This is one case though, if you're doing a contact sheet and you need it to all be a specific size, you might need to rotate and fit so that all the photos are kind of maximize the space. For example, if it's like this and you uncheck rotate to fit, the photos are a little bit harder to see. So if you rotate to fit on this layout anyways, it makes them much bigger. You can add a stroke border. So if you want to have like sort of a black or white border, you can do that, which might help kind of separate it or make it easier to see the photos. You have your layout options. So first you can adjust this from inches to centimeters, millimeters, whatever you want. You can increase or decrease the margins. And here you can also create a custom grid. For example, if you want it to be 4x4 or 2x2 or 2x3, so we can get all these photos on this page, you can set it up there. The cell spacing will increase how much space is between the cells. So it's probably a good idea to have some space. Margins though, just to go back to that, that's more for your printer. So if your printer needs 1/4 inch margins, then you would set it at 1/4 inch right there. Here you have your overall cell size as well. So you can make it bigger or smaller there, which is the cell size itself, not the space in between. Here you have your guides. We don't have any of these on. This is similar to what we saw in the book. So you can see rulers. So for example, if you're trying to line up certain things, you can actually click right in here to move things around, and you can create rulers. So when we're hovering over these sizes, we can kind of see, okay, we want this grid to be 1.5 inches wide, and we want it to start at 0.5 inches and go to 1.5 inches. So that's actually 1 inch wide. We can do that. So you can see that with the rulers up there. We have our page bleed, which is something you don't want to put any photos or text outside of the page bleed, margins, etc., dimensions if you want to see the dimensions of the photos that you're printing, and then the image cells themselves. That's more for just kind of guiding you in creating this page. It's not going to actually print out like that, so you don't see those lines in the printout. Next, you have your page options. So typically you're just going to leave it as is, and it's going to be a white page. If you do want to adjust the background color, you can check that on and choose the background color. You can add an identity plate, for example, if you want to have like a big watermark across it. You can put it on every image like that. Maybe drop the opacity, something like that, so that there's a watermark on your photo. Or you can just choose the watermark option and do that as well. But that's more of the watermark on the bottom of the print, not across the photo like this identity plate. You can also turn on page numbers. You can have page info, all that kind of stuff like that there as well. You can also turn on different photo information, so you can choose to have the file name, equipment, exposure, things like that. Usually file name is probably pretty good, or sequence, so you know which photo. This is if you're passing this off to a client so that they can see what they're looking at and choose, oh yes, I want number 2 or number 7 or whatever it is. The next options are for the printing itself. So you have to set up a printer, or you can actually save it as a file. So if you want to save this contact sheet as a PDF or a JPEG image, you can choose JPEG file, and that changes a lot of the settings down here. But you can still choose your resolution, any sharpening you want, your quality of the JPEG, if you have custom dimensions that are different than what your page template is. Or if we go back to printer, you can see that we have all these settings as well. Resolution, print sharpening, color management. These are things I don't really get into because I don't print out my photos myself. But if you are actually printing out on just like your desktop printer or an inkjet printer or laserjet printer, then these kind of standard settings should be fine. When you're ready to print, just click the print button and it's going to send it to the printer. Since I don't actually have a printer connected, I'm going to exit out of that and cancel that. Now, if I do want to save it as a file, I can just change this from printer to JPEG file, choose print to file, call it whatever you want, test print, click save. Now it's going to save it. And if we go to our Finder, we can see that we've saved this, and this is what that contact sheet looks like. If it was multiple pages, it would actually show up as multiple page, or have actual multiple prints as well. So this is the print module. There's a lot you can do here. Definitely play around with these different templates. Click the plus button up there to create your own template after you've done so, which is really important if you're printing out your own photos, so you can quickly choose a template. And that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, we'll see you in the next lesson.